been out there for about 40
Fuck you,
minutes.
Greg.
There we go. See, someone had to do it. All right. See, when he's not here, she takes his place. That's fantastic. All right.
Marador for the win.
Meridor. All right, welcome back to another episode of Failed Attempt, where a collection of assholes sit around and try to play Dungeons and Dragons as I watch all my dogs run away. Okay. Yes. And Jake will not be joining us because he is shitting through his mouth hole. And Steven is not here yet, if he shows up at all. So where are you guys finished off? Garrison, you were in the middle of a self-made blood orgy, which we will get to in a second. Vidar, you were in the hallway just before entering the arena because you saw the poster of all of yourselves and decided to tear it off the wall and put it in your coat. Merida, you were looking for specific people in the crowd. And then after finding a couple and hearing some conversations that might allude to whatever this battle is about, whatever these gladiator games represent, you made an attempt to get out of the crowd to go and find Vidar or anyone that you knew, and kind of started getting lost in the crowd because most of them are taller than you, and even the ones that aren't, there's a lot of them. Sorry. And then Yorick, you were at this point, you would actually be not entering the arena itself, but you would be you'd be crossing through the doorway into the hall with Jerem, which is where you come face to face with Vidar. So that's where we'll start you, because that only makes sense. You were walking in with Jerem anyway. But what led up to this point, backtracking, is number one, Garrison found the exit door, what he can only assume is the exit door because it brought him back to the original timeline. But when you decided to come back through, you noticed quite a few changes in yourself, first of all, and in the timeline that you guys were forced into by Zarut. So if you changed by passing through to the original and then coming back, what else did you cause by doing it? That's another question to add to your list. You're welcome. You guys also ended up being accosted by this timeline's Yorick.
I think we accosted him.
No, not really. He tripped Vidar. That's what I mean by accost. Like, no one really fought, but you guys really didn't. You saw that it was different, and it really didn't put two and two together that it was the different one until it was too late. And then he was walking away, and Vidar was trying to rush and got tripped. Zarut also alluded to the fact that Yorick and Vidar both have tickets to the games, and they're the only two that do. However, underneath your name and Gladiator Games was Open Fight Call, so all of you made your way there. Malador had assumed that it was where he was brought as a kid, but Vidar made the intelligent move of going back to where you guys fought the mud monster and turned out to be correct. So that is where we begin, is in here. So Yorick, is there anything that you wanted to talk to Jerem on the way, or do you just want to, blink into existence in the hallway with Vidar?
I don't have any questions or comments to Jerem, other than he's an asshole for taking my book in the first place.
Well, I will say you have it back, and when he gave it back to you, you did feel that that familiar, that slightly electrical vibrating connection that you've always had with the book. Only now, for whatever reason, something that you can't explain, is the connection feels a little bit weaker. So it felt a little weaker to you when Tyr gave it back to you. Now it feels a little weaker when Jerem gave it back to you. It seems like every time someone else touches the book and hands it back, your connection to it gets a little bit weaker. Because it's happened twice now. So we will begin with you passing through the threshold into the hallway, you and Jerem coming through, and you see Vidar closing his coat. And Vidar, you would see them coming through but you guys are now both in the hallway with Jerem. Yorick, you would need to stop, otherwise you'll bump right into Vidar. I'm just gonna say that. So you would end up needing to stop, otherwise you're gonna bump into him, and Jerem just kind of keeps going through the other door into the arena. So you two are now in the same room. Merida, at this point, you would have pushed through the crowd enough to at least get back to the door that you came through. So it's pretty much at the exact same time that Jerem passes through the door, you come through the door, only to find Vidar is still in the hallway, and now Yorick has appeared. So the three of you are in the same place. But it is loud inside this arena.
It's getting loud now that it's starting to fill up with people.
It's well, yeah. So as you were standing in the hallway, there were like ones and twos trickling in. Now Jerem went in, and as he goes in, Merida, as you pass by Jerem, like he takes about 5 steps into the room and just throws his hands in the air and like just starts screaming into the air to really get the party started. And as he does that, there's just like this cacophony, this like wave of yas and woos and woohoo, just all, and it just echoes through this chamber because there's no windows down here. The only entrance is the one that you guys are in, and even though you're in a hallway, the echo of all this voice just kind of pushes through the hallway like an amphitheater. So you guys just get hit with this huge volume of excited people. I mean, Merida, you saw that there were food and drinks in there, so who knows how many of them are drunk at this point. But that is where you guys will begin tonight's episode. So what would you three like to do?
I'm gonna look at Yorick and make sure he's the real Yorick and not the one who's gonna be an asshole to me.
As far as you know, he is the real one. He's dressed in his what were you at this point? Were you in your dark or your light?
I would have been still in the dark robing.
Okay. Yeah. So he's in his
He doesn't have a
black
sword on his back, right?
What's up? No sword
doesn't
on
have
his
a
back.
sword.
He's in his black and purple robe.
Okay.
He is without rolling and without too much effort, he is the Yorick that you've been traveling with.
Cool.
We're gonna need to establish a safe word that only we know.
I thought you two already had a safe word.
Right? Big and little spoon. I thought your safe word was pineapples. What the hell? Didn't we already establish this like months ago?
Hey, no, that's a private safe word. We need one for the whole group.
Oh, yeah,
We need
true.
one for the whole group.
You guys haven't had a private moment since the cabin.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are
We just keep getting teleported everywhere.
Yeah, we just kind of get thrown into shit, and we're
yeah,
just like,
big,
what we're doing.
big and little spoon are privately missing each other.
And now I'm married, apparently.
I know.
Wait, you're
sucks.
married now?
Yeah, I'm married now.
Oh yeah, no, he never told you about that.
Oh yeah, above board.
Yeah, that's above board. Yeah, he never told you guys about that shit.
Yeah, I kept that shit silent. I forgot.
That's funny.
Oh,
Yeah, that would be a funny exchange. You come into the hallway. Okay, so you're the real Yorick. By the way, I'm married now. It's just out of the blue. All right.
Okay.
So yes, you have established that this is, in fact, your Yorick.
Okay. And I see Merida come walking up behind me.
Yes.
I'm like, all right. We know what this timeline's Yorick looks like. And I have found out what everybody else looks like. And I'm going to pull out the paper from my jacket and unroll it kind of quietly and hold it up to Yorick and Merida.
Okay. So Yorick, you on the poster see the Yorick that you didn't run into him on the street, they did, but you do see yourself. You look exactly like you do now, just the getup is different. There's 2 swords on the back, the clothing is skin tight and it's leather bound and there's straps, and it's a really cool outfit that you could actually imagine yourself wearing. There was a time in your life, if you weren't going to be your historical gravedigger, that you wanted to become a ranger at one point, and this looks like the getup that you could imagine yourself wearing. And then Merida, as he opens up the poster, you do see your name, Merida, and it is the a black and white version of yourself, like the love of your life, only smaller.
Well, that's
So, in this world, she's a panda instead of a red panda.
Mm-hmm.
But isn't Tira a red panda?
that. We got so many questions popping up here that I'm feeling like I'm back in standardized testing.
Yeah.
Listen,
But,
while you
I
guys
mean,
are trying to piece this
I
together,
remember science class, so I
Listen.
remember
listen,
how
while you guys
genetics
are
work.
while you guys are trying to piece this together, just remember that one question I asked at the beginning. What else did it change when you went through the exit door and came back? And by the way, even if recessive genes exist, if we're talking about science class.
yeah, fuck you, Garrison.
So if the dad is
I
a black
get
and white
it.
panda, one of the kids would end up that way too. So who's the father?
No, no.
Eat it, Garrison.
So who's the
Listen.
father? Because her father in the original timeline is a red panda. Who is it now?
So
Well, weren't the whole group of red pandas? Wasn't it her whole family?
No, it was her grandmother, her grandfather, and then a bunch of just villagers. Her mom and dad weren't there. Actually, you guys haven't met her mom and dad, and she really hasn't either. Merida was raised by her grandparents.
Oh, yeah. Fair enough.
but yeah, he's gonna be.
That
holding
is
up
right,
poster
correct,
to them.
Merida?
Yeah.
You were raised okay. Rather than throwing something at her that didn't exist, I felt like I'd clarify. But yes, go ahead. I'm sorry. We kind of interrupted there with science. But yes, so you do see the other you, Merida, you see the other you, and along on that poster, you also see the other Garrison and the other Vidar and the other Malador. And that's only one poster. And Merida, because of the way you are, when you look to your left, there's the wall and there's multiple posters on it. And your eyes immediately do exactly what Vidar's was, which is glue to the giant bubble letter wanted. Which you've been on a wanted poster before. So you kind of have that mild panic attack. Not only did you just get out of a giant crowd of people that you don't know in a very loud room, but now you see wanted on a poster and then underneath it for the fight. Just in like very, very little letters, kind of like a haha. Just kidding.
Not serious, just a joke.
So a wall full of posters with faces on it, and then the one that he's holding up that has the whole group.
Garrison should literally just start collecting all the wanted posters that he's on. Because apparently it's a lot.
God, you could make a collage out of the wanted posters you're on. Jesus Christ.
And it's just from being with you guys. Like, it's not even for doing anything evil. Like,
It could be one of those. It could be one of those things that's like first arrested, second time being arrested, just showing like the descent into crackheaddom.
It was the royal.
I'm wanted by association. That's what it is.
So the Royal Guard, Ultima Vistus, Relictus all had fucking bounties out for Garrison. All three of them. Trock was looking for him at one point and didn't even know who he was.
Yeah. Now it's Coast City Gladiator Arena wanted poster. It's not me personally, but it's me.
It's not me, but it's me. How does it
feel knowing that you're wanted across every timeline?
I mean, I should feel proud. There's a little bit of pride in there, but at the same time, I'm just like, what the fuck? Really, Cat? Really?
Yes, really, Cat.
Unbelievable.
Yes. So what would you guys like to do? The noise in this room is getting to the point where it's kind of like being at a concert where you're standing right next to each other, but you still have to yell in order to hear.
I got you. Yeah, I'm just gonna be holding another poster and be like, memorize these faces. If you see them, we all look slightly different. Like, see, Vidar's not blue. I'm blue. This Vidar's not blue. He's a red tiefling and he's covered in armor.
Is it a colored wanted poster?
Yes.
Did they have color print back then?
They do now.
Now it's canon.
Hey, do we have magical floating pirate ships? Okay, come on.
Not in this timeline.
Not in this timeline. No.
Well, have you seen Zarut anywhere? He's gonna talk to Vidar.
I have not. So he did tell me all I had to do was call his name out, and he would appear.
I think that some of our old friends might be here, such as possibly Antelon and Xander. Because I heard a little bit of a conversation earlier where they were talking about if they fuck this up, they're going to be screwed. And that kind of reminded me of what happened down at the Brotherhood.
Well, I know Xander's supposed to be
that's
here.
important.
Well, I know Xander's supposed to be here. He was telling me that me and him both had tickets. But I didn't know about Anselon. And it didn't seem like Xander was a part of some huge plot. But I may be wrong.
Regardless, I've got a very bad feeling about everything that's going on here.
What happens if we run into ourselves?
No good, apparently.
I guess just try to keep a low profile for now. I'm gonna go turn in my ticket because it has my name on it, so clearly I'm supposed to be in this somehow. So I'm just gonna play my part until some shit goes down, and then, you know, if it gets too much to handle, then we are leaving out that door at light.
Agreed.
I need to find Zarut because I've got a lot of questions that need answering.
I can try calling him if you want.
Zarut!
You're the.
I'm gonna click my heels 3 times and say Zarut, Zarut,
Zarut! I need you.
Look at a mirror. Look at a mirror at midnight. Call us 3
Yeah.
times. Bloody
Right?
Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary.
Yes.
Beetlejuice,
Alright.
Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice.
Soon, my friends.
It's showtime.
Yes. So the 3 of you, out of all of this noise, as you're trying to figure out where you're going to go and what you're going to do, through all of this noise, somewhere inside that room, you hear the very distinct voice of Malador going, "Place your bets!" And and you start hearing, now the voices are shifting from this just echoing cacophony of mixtured conversations to, yeah, 10, 5, 20, and just people throwing up their arms, and with all of that, you actually start hearing coins being thrown through the air with that distinct clanging and hitting the ground. And as you look in, you're starting to see just gold and silver and whatnot just blanketing the floor as these little imp creatures are kind of like ushers, but they're being forced through this large crowd through people's legs and underneath arms, and they're scavenging up the coins. And Malador literally just like, "Is that all you got? Put more!" And just getting everyone riled up to place bets.
Who let him on his own?
So much for a low profile.
Who let him on his own? Vidar points to himself.
Yeah, that one's on me, guys. I'm sorry.
Well, I didn't want to hang out with them, that's for sure.
Yeah.
You know what? You guys have tickets. I don't. Maybe I'll just see if I can push into the crowd and watch from a distance.
Have that Boop the Snoot ready, please.
Always. Snooty booping. You guys go do what you have to do. I'm going to see if I can stay in the back. Stay out of sight.
keep an eye on Malador so he doesn't do anything else.
Not my problem. All for one, one
He's
for all.
our.
Himself into this mess, it's his own problem.
You know what? I'm down for that. I'm gonna go turn in my ticket.
Okay.
I'm right behind you.
I'm gonna go see if I can find a spectator location.
Okay, so you're looking for somewhere that people would be watching rather than being in it, just the crowd.
I just want to spectate.
Okay. Go ahead and make a perception check, Merida. So Vidar, you go in. You have not been in this room yet, so because you are looking for the desk or kiosk or whatever it is that you would turn the ticket in, get your name on a board, whatever. Go ahead and make a perception check as well. And Yorick, what exactly are you doing?
I'm just looking for a place to where I can turn in my ticket.
Okay, so you're following Vidar.
Yeah.
All right. So go ahead and
Do
make.
you have a higher
that as well.
perception?
He does.
I got a 6.
Okay, can I help him so he can get advantage?
He already has advantage.
Never mind.
But what you can do, because he already has advantage, is you can roll yourself, and I can make it a group check.
I got a 9.
You got okay. Well, that didn't help at all.
You shouldn't have rolled. I don't know why you did that.
24.
Okay. So Vidar enters this room and he's looking around for a desk, and just the noise alone, he's like, "Hey, look, butterflies." Vidar is unable to focus in this room at all. Thankfully, though, Yorick comes by and goes, "Let's go, Big Spoon," and grabs you by the arm and just starts dragging you through the crowd, because the first thing Yorick notices through all of these people, his eyes like narrow in on this someone sitting down doing this kind of motion. Look over there. Just with that, dude, your perception rolls are insane. But yes, he just kind of grabs you in your confusion and brings you over. Merida, you kind of go through the crowd trying to stay unnoticed, looking for a place for spectators, and the only thing that you're able to gather is this room is not where the fighting takes place. There is no seating in here. There are no bleachers in here. There's nowhere for fighting to happen unless everyone just kind of spread to the edges and the fighting takes place in the middle. You do see a stage where someone or someone's stand to make announcements, and then the desk where tickets get put in, but there is no place, there's no seating in here. So the only thing that you're able to conclude is that this is not where the fighting takes place, which, as far as you guys know, there's only one door that leads in here. But yes, Yorick and Vidar. So Vidar, the entire time he's yanking you toward the desk, you're just kind of like getting lost in all of the noise. One thing that you are going to notice, even with the 9, is when you're about 10 feet away from the desk, you kind of lock eyes on it with Yorick. And standing at the desk, you hear, "What are you talking about? My name is Vidar. That is my name right there.
Oh, God.
What do you mean I'm not in this fight? I had my ticket somewhere. Someone must have stolen it off of me."
Shit.
And then resting on his shoulder is a black crow. That's just kind of doing the same thing Darling does, is just like nipping at the base of the neck and at the bottom of the hair until he places bird seed right in the cove where you always do. And it just starts eating. Just this beautiful black crow. Very well maintained.
Is it named Ellenwood?
But of course, Darling reacts not only to the noise and the confusion, but goes up and sees the crow, and you just feel her on your shoulder going, just fluffing out and getting really low in.
Okay. Yorick, I have an idea. Hopefully this works. Are you okay with me trying?
Well, hang on a second.
Okay.
But before you do it, no, I'm not trying to interrupt that. Before you do anything, let's establish the fact I saw you saw it and you heard it. Did Yorick stop walking?
Yeah, Yorick's gonna stop in his tracks as soon as he hears this other person saying,
Okay.
he's gonna be like, "Oh nope, you can't go
Okay.
any."
I needed to make sure of that because if Vidar is going, let me try something, and York's just da 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 da, that 10 feet's gonna close really, really fast. Okay,
So we're
so
within
he
10 feet?
stops.
Yeah,
Yes,
no,
you're
we don't
within
need
10
no-
feet.
We don't
Okay.
need no start happening here.
Yes, you are within 10 feet.
All right. York, just don't question. And I'm going to split myself into my split personality. Give me a second. That's 2. Okay. Constitution, please give me 1. All I need is 1. No. No. I don't get control over any of them.
How many did you roll for?
2. DC 15 is hard for me, dude. My constitution's only +1.
I know.
All right.
I couldn't make it that easy. So you rolled. Okay, so we've described this before, but because he doesn't have control over him, unfortunately, I can't let you describe it. But so Vidar goes, York, I'm gonna try something, and then you just kind of see him like glow and shimmer for a second, and then out of the left and out of the right comes another Vidar. Just 2, like basically mirror images of him. But you know how spells work. These are not mirror images. These are actual selves. And as they pop out, they just kind of like their eyes go from a glazed over white to the normal eyes, and they just kind of start blinking. Where? Hell yeah, party! And they just start walking in different directions. One of them goes off to an angle to the left toward the desk, and one of them starts angling off to the right. And Vidar, of course, you know, in a minute they're gonna burst.
In 6 seconds.
6 seconds, yeah. Just they're just gonna go.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go ahead and roll my damage.
Okay. So you start seeing them walk off. The one that's going off to the left gets probably like a foot from the other Vidar, and then and as it bursts, just this black mist just envelops the other Vidar and the desk, and the one sitting at the desk goes, "Ah! I said no parlor tricks!" And of course the other Vidar looks around like, where the hell did all this dust come from? Just wiping himself off. And of course the other one out in the crowd pops, and people barely notice that one. We're already paying, guys. What's all this crap?
I'm gonna try one more time.
All right. You are able to do it quite a few times, so.
Yeah, equal to my wisdom modifier, so I can do it 4 times.
Jeez.
1! Fuck! Fuck! Please give this to me. No!
What did you do? Okay. Are you? Oh my God! You got 4 on that one. So you're just like sending yous.
Yep, I'm gonna do another one.
Okay.
I'm gonna get one.
Let me check something here.
1 again.
I don't have anything that I can do.
At least he's getting out his bad rolls now.
Jesus Christ.
Okay. So at this point in time, you are drawing the attention of the crowd. First of all, and one of the ones that you do draw the attention of is the Red Vidar, who turns around to notice the source of this weird parlor trick that keeps blasting black mist flakes all over his armor. He turns around, and Yorick, with your passive, you notice him turn around, and the first thing he does is just kind of like squint and then glues his eyes on Vidar being the source. As Vidar is just sitting there and continuing to shimmer, and boop, here comes another one, and then pops off in the distance, and another one, boop, it pops off in the distance. This is actually the worst luck you've had with that so far, because usually you get control of at least one.
I got one more try. and I'm planning on using it.
Okay.
I'm gonna step behind York and do it.
Don't step behind me.
My God, dude.
Okay. Split personality 1.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So Yorick, Vidar is going to take a step behind you, and at the exact time that he kind of fades behind you, the other Vidar is now face to face with you. Why do you guys keep doing that? You are ruining my armor. I am here to look nice for this fight. And then, at that very moment, Vidar, where does your other self go?
I'm gonna whisper in his ear and tell him to punch the red tiefling right in front of him and then run away. And while yelling, "You're not the real Vidar."
Okay, so which direction do you have him pop out? Because Yorick is right in front of you, so you can't do that without pushing him. You can have him go right or left. I'm trying to get the visual here.
Okay, so the door. Let me get clarification. The door that we walked in behind, is that behind us, to our left,
Yes.
to our right?
It'd be behind you at a right angle,
Okay,
diagonally right.
Okay, so I'm gonna have him pop out to the right of me, and I'm gonna whisper in his ear. Because now he's within 5 feet. This dude doesn't even have to take a step. He can just reach out and punch him.
Yes.
So I'm gonna whisper in his ear and tell him, punch this red tiefling in front of us, and yell. And as you run towards the exit, yelling, "You're not the real Vidar."
Okay. Well, because it's you, go ahead. So first off, I need you to roll to hit, and it would just be an unarmed strike. So roll that up. And then because it's you can yell
19.
in whatever way you want to yell. 19, yes. So describe how he does it, and go ahead and yell whatever you want to yell.
Another Vidar pops out. The real Vidar kind of leans over like this and starts whispering in his ear. And he's staring, the clone Vidar staring forward, and then he locks on to the red tiefling and just reaches out, boom, right on the chin, and immediately turns around and starts running. "You red piece of shit! You're not the real Vidar!" It just starts cackling off into the distance.
Okay. And you did 3 damage, so yeah, he kind of like leans off to his right a little bit as he clocked him right in the left side of the face. And as he leans over, your clone beelines it toward the front door, and then go ahead and take your damage.
Did he not?
So this happened in front of you. So Vidar disappears behind you, and then another him appears right here to your right, swings at the red one, yelling this shit, and then takes off and explodes behind you a few steps later.
Did he not follow him?
No.
I did this for nothing.
No, he's not following him at all. Because you hit him, and it distracted him to the point where he kind of leaned off to his right a little bit, and then he comes up rubbing his cheek.
Mac, scream, then yell.
Where is he? Why did he do that? That kind of hurt.
That guy, he went that way. I'm gonna have hiding my face behind York. He went that way.
Okay. I need.
Yeah, he went that way.
Give me deception, both of you.
Ooh, advantage.
Deception? Okay.
Ooh, that's a natural 20 for 27.
Okay.
12.
All right. So, giving kind of like a. I don't know who this other voice is, but they don't sound very convincing. And at the exact same time, York, go ahead. You said they just run that way?
Yeah, he went that way, if you're looking for.
So, with this, he keeps this hand on his cheek, and with his right hand, he reaches over to his left hip and he pulls out a rapier, gets it into his hand, and then just starts walking into the crowd that way. Where is he? Where is he? And just swinging it back and forth, trying to move the crowd so he doesn't hit anyone he's not supposed to.
Yeah, as he's walking away, or as he's taking off, I'm doing my best to kind of keep Vidar covered.
Okay.
As soon as he's out of earshot, I'm just gonna look at York and go.
Yeah, as
I'm
you
gonna
just
walk
took
up to
how
the
much.
ticket stand.
As
A
you
lot
just
of
took how
damage.
much fucking damage to
A
do
lot. I
that?
just took a lot. I just took a lot. Don't worry about it. Ignore me. He's gonna walk up to the ticket stand and give the ticket
Okay.
to the
So through all of this, you gathered quite a crowd yourself. There's about 10 in the crowd now that have been watching pretty much the entire time, just keeping eyes locked on you as they see you walk up and you hear whispers going. There were more of. Can do you know how to do that? That was really cool. I mean, it was disgusting, but it was really cool.
Disgusting.
As you're walking toward the desk, there's actually just like black powder flakes just all over the floor, all over the desk, in multiple spots from where the other U's went and just popped into the air. So you walk up and hand your ticket?
Yes.
Okay. So
Yep.
you hand your ticket to the desk, the guy takes it and kind of brushes it off. Finally. There's always imposters. Thank you. Rips off a part of the ticket. Keep this part. If you lose that part and someone else has it, I can't help you. And he just kind of puts your ticket into a box, moves the box back onto the floor, and then immediately recognizes you, Yorick. Ah,
Uh-oh.
again. Why do you two keep having people dressed up like? Come here.
Well, I am pretty famous, so there would be imposters.
Yeah. Everyone is. Come here. Come on. Give me your ticket. Let's go. Turn it in before someone else tries to.
I'm gonna hand him the ticket.
All right. He does the same thing. Rips off the little stub, hands it to you, and puts it in the box.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
I thought the fights were also open.
Mm-hmm.
So why do they need tickets?
Maybe because you were specifically invited.
For spectators.
Is that really the only question you have right now? Was why do they need tickets?
Well,
Because I have
no,
another
but like,
burning one on my mind.
well, because like the people who are like arguing, like, oh, I had a ticket, but like they could still just go in. Like, there's like, okay, if I don't have my ticket, it's still an open fight, right? I could still just come in and fight. So like,
Okay. So what do the tickets mean?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So
So
here's another question for you guys. What do the tickets mean if they're that important and it's an open fight? And why is it that this Vidar and this Yorick were the ones they were waiting for when they're not on the poster?
Maybe they're headliners.
Hey, like I said, I'm playing my part
Shit.
until shit gets squirrely.
till shit gets
Okay.
squirrely.
So while you guys think about what you want to do next, actually first, Merida, given you're 16 and you're just kind of on the outside looking in, trying to find all of this, I will say that you saw this entire interaction go down, especially considering you'd be working through the crowd trying to find out what this room is all about, and then all of a sudden just seeing multiple Vidars start to walk in different directions. So what would you have done during all of this?
I probably would have just been like reacting the same way that the crowd was, just kind of like fitting in, like, oh, that's kind of weird. Oh, weird.
Merida, give me one more perception check, please. Because you're scanning and not really distracted.
That's a 5.
Okay, never mind. So you are distracted. Okay. So we're going to pan over to Garrison real quick.
What's up?
So, sir, you did successfully grapple her.
Mm-hmm.
In the grapple, you attempted to strike her, and it did not work because your rolls suck.
Yeah.
But you do have her grappled.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you like to do while you're grappling her? And she's fighting it. You can definitely tell because of your know your enemy that you are superior to her in strength.
Yeah.
But you also notice that even though you have her and you're trying to swing, it's either hitting and not piercing, or she's able to deflect it.
Mm-hmm. So I want to drop prone, like drop her prone.
Okay.
Like I have her grappled, so now I want to like kind of like throw her to the ground.
Mhm.
And I'm just like, tell me what I want to know.
So you let go of her to drop her down?
No.
Or
Like
do
I
you
have her
drop with
like
her?
I'm well, yeah. So I guess I would be, I have her down. So now I'm also like on top of her. Like I got her, I grabbed her by like the arms or whatever, and I'm like just like throwing her down. I'm like holding her there. So
Gotcha.
and I'm just like, yeah, like tell me what I want to know. Tell me how to cure this.
Why would you want to cure it? It seems like you're having so much fun. I mean, look around. This strength of yours, you wouldn't have it if not for me. Look at, and she just, and even though she's grappled her free hand, she kind of scans. I mean, you are in what would classify as her bedroom inside this house. There are two lifeless bodies laying on the ground that you guys drank from, and then it looks like a horror show in here. Because when you guys were doing your fucking sex aerobics, you went all over the room. So there's handprints and just body prints. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
All over the room, and they're of course stacked on top of each other. Why would you want to get rid of this? There's so much, well, life. Think of your new strength. Think of your new speed. You
Is
will
there
lose
life?
all of it.
Seen a lot of dead bodies.
I mean, to be perfectly honest, I don't know how to cure it. I've been living with this myself for a long time. I was just like you once.
seem like a person who would have contingencies.
I was just like you once. I was turned. I didn't like it at first because I woke up hungry one day and murdered my whole family. But over the centuries, I've learned to enjoy it and bring others like you into the fold.
Yeah, so I'm with that. I'm gonna attack her again.
Okay.
Gonna try and give her a slap with my glaive. Again, I'm gonna emphasize all the attacks that I'm doing to her are non-lethal. I'm not
Gotcha.
trying to kill her. I'm just right now trying to subdue her and
Yeah. So
knock some sense into her.
so no damage. I got it.
Well, it's damage, but it's
You're just
like
not trying to kill her. Yeah.
right.
So
Like
if she reaches,
if she reaches 0, she's just knocked out. She's not like dead.
yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Roll it up,
Yes.
sir.
Jesus. Oh my God. Like, I already know that's gonna miss. So I guess extra attack. Let's see if I roll above a 10, maybe. Is that? There we go.
That is spot on.
Yeah, meets it, beats it. Right?
Yep. So roll your damage. Okay.
And then bonus attack for my Polar Master. Oh, actually, that should be a +1. So that should hit as well. For some reason,
Yes, that
it's
is.
not.
Yeah, I know. It's a +1. I know. Because you have a glaive +1. You have to add that yourself. It doesn't do it for you.
Yeah, I thought it because of the feat. I thought it would have done it. I'll fix that.
It should, but it's stupid.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's another 10. All right. Okay.
And
all right. So
yeah,
as a reaction to that, with her loose hand, she's going to point it up at you. And give me 1 second, because we're not gonna roll initiative. It's just you two. But if you're attacking, she's gonna react. Come on. Okay. Do. All right. So that is a 26 to hit.
Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe. you know. Not bad. Not bad. All right. So let's see. 1, 2. Okay. No, actually. Okay. And you are still vulnerable to fire. Yes, you are. Okay.
So is she.
So she points her hand out and shoots a firebolt directly into your chest.
Mhm.
And the only reason that you're going to take this damage, well, I mean, because you're wearing plate armor. She shoots it into your chest, but spells penetrate armor. Again, mechanics, I don't understand it either. But that was a firebolt. 3d10.
What?
What?
All right.
She's not 8th level, but
Mhm.
she's higher.
Yeah.
So that is going to be 26 points of fire damage. That's doubled. 26
That's
is
doubled?
doubled. Yes. Just so it's not 52. 26, that is doubled. And with that, you are going to obviously lose the
wait.
grapple.
Nope. She has disadvantage.
On the attack for what? Oh, because she's grappled.
Oh, and because I'm within 5 feet, it's a ranged attack.
That is true. Okay. Well, that's still a 24. So I can re-roll the damage too if you'd like. Okay.
No.
You don't want a chance at being higher? Come on.
Yep.
But yes, that will yeah, give me a dex save on that to see if you lose your position.
Give me 1 second.
Oh, wait, no, you wouldn't have your plate on, would you? You guys are both naked right now, so never mind.
No, I would have attacked after it because I have my +1 glaive.
No, but but were you doing this immediately after you came back into focus, or did you put your armor back on? Is what I'm asking.
No, this was after I opened the chest and got my armor and glaive.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, so just give me a dex save. Let's see if you maintain your position.
Is it a dex or is it a strength to hold the grapple?
Give me both.
Yep, okay. What dex? Yeah, okay.
Yep. So the save failed, but let's see what the strength is.
And so it's a 22.
Okay. So how I'm going to describe this is she hits you in the chest with the firebolt. You do maintain the grapple by holding onto her. However, you lose your footing. So when it hits you in the chest, it kind of knocks you into a laying down. So now you're literally laying down on top of her. So you're being above her, holding her down is no longer a thing. Now you're actually laying on her. So you're both prone. That's all that was for, because she knocked you in the chest for half your health.
Yeah.
So I had to have you roll something because it literally took 50% of your health. But now you are laying on top of her. So you still maintain the grip of her shoulders, but you're no longer on your feet or your knees or however it is you were positioned.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that hurt.
Oh yeah.
That went right to your chest. You can feel the burn going up to your shoulders and down toward your belly button.
So now that I'm laying on her, though, is the fire catching her on fire? Is the fire still there?
Let me check. That is a good question.
I mean, play with fire, you're gonna get burned. Just saying.
Oh. You don't light on fire, but let me check and see if she takes any. Okay. Yep, she does. She takes some. But you two don't burst into flames, is what
No, I know.
But yeah, I figure if the embers are still there, does she take damage because now you're on her? Yeah, I got it. Yeah, she does take a little bit. But in the fit of rage of throwing that into you and then you now laying on top of her, it's more arousal than it is pain, as she is now curling both of her legs behind your legs.
Yeah. So
round 2, as she just kind of repositions herself.
Yeah. So I'm gonna, half my movement speed, stand up, maintain the grapple, and just go at her again, gonna hit her a couple more times. Again, non-lethal damage. So
Okay.
let's do. If I hit, I'm gonna use. That's gonna hit. I'm gonna use my menacing attack.
Which
So
does what?
that is the. What is going on with my screen right now?
It
Why
doesn't
is
like
this
you.
not- Yeah. So scroll. She has to make I believe, a wisdom save.
DC 17 on a failure is frightened of you until the ending. Okay.
Yes. And I gotta
That
do.
If that's a wisdom save, DC 17, that is a fail.
Nice.
Okay.
So
So yeah, you hit her, and because of the way frighten works, as soon as you hit her, she starts like crab crawling backwards as fast as she possibly can to get away from you. Her entire movement while she's on the ground.
no. This the frightened. That's the fear one.
Mhm.
Frightened. She doesn't move. She just doesn't move towards me right now. So
Okay.
it's not. She doesn't use her full movement speed to move away, but she has disadvantage on attacks and ability checks while I'm in front of her.
Okay. So while you're doing this, and this overwhelming amount of fear just comes over her, she's, wait, I can help you get home. I know what you're looking for here. I know what you're all looking for here.
So with that, I'm gonna use my bonus action and pole arm and hit her again. I'm
Okay.
like, I already know how to get home. I gotta roll the. Sorry, 1 second. I gotta roll the D8 for the menacing. So she takes an additional 1 damage. Wow. Okay.
Yep. And the
Kinda
pole
just-
arm missed.
Yeah.
So as she's scared, she's kind of dodging your attacks. You don't know as much as you think you do.
Mhm.
You passed through the door, didn't you? I know about that.
Mhm.
That might be how you get home. But you can't just leave. You're a part of this world now. I know how to get home. But I'm not going to tell you if you're going to keep trying to kill me.
And I'm gonna hold my glaive like right up to her face, and I'm like, "Tell me now."
Can I at least get dressed first?
No.
as you're holding the glaive, she's just going to vanish from sight and reappear 10 feet behind you over by the bed. Just pick her dress up off the mattress and put it on. This has been fun. But if we're going to work together, you're going to have to stop trying to swing at me. Because as much as you think you've hurt me, and as you're looking at her, pointing your glaive at her, the wounds just close. There are many tricks that I can still teach you that you don't know. Such as this one. She kind of just wipes the blood away, and all of the wounds that you've given to her because of the glaive are gone.
Yep. So with the glaive still pointed at me, I'm like, just tell me how to fix this and how to get home. That's all I want to know.
Well, we have somewhere we need to be, and I believe your friends are already there. And she kind of, like, out of nowhere, she pulls out this round, like, translucent globe and just starts looking into it. Yep. Your friends are already there. Take a look.
I'm just gonna smash the globe with my glaive. I'm just gonna like take it and like smash it and hold it back up to her and be like, answer my questions.
It doesn't break, Garrison.
Or like I'm at least knock it out of her hands. Like,
okay.
Well,
like with the glaive, you just
pop
it out.
Like yeah. So like I'm holding it at her, and then she's like, "Oh, look, your friends," and I'm just like, like smash, like even if it doesn't break or like knocks it out of her hand. Like, enough of these games. Like, I'm done with these games. Tell me what I want to know. If you know, tell me now.
So feisty. Come with me. And she just kind of pulls a U and you don't see her legs moving. She just kind of starts gliding across the floor, right to the front door of her house, and opens it up. After you.
After you. I don't know where I'm going.
Shut the door behind you. And just exits the building. So I will say at this point, unless there's any conversation you want to have with her along the way, she is leading you toward the games.
Mhm. I will, as I'm leaving, is there like, how did she light the house? Was there candles around? No, it was just pitch black.
Yeah, most of it.
Just gonna say I was
Which-
gonna burn the house down as I left. So you
Which-
know,
which is another weird thing because you don't have dark vision.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
being with her this day in this pitch black house, you were able to see it perfectly.
God.
I know. I was just gonna try and burn her house down. That's all.
I mean, she shot a firebolt into you and it didn't burn the house down. But no, there's no
Yeah.
candles anywhere. It's not like Castlevania.
Mhm. Yeah. I guess I'm following her.
So, but is there any like questions or conversation you want to have with her along the way, or you just want to kind of smash cut to the games?
Yeah, no, because I mean, I just feel like she's not going to answer any of my questions. Because I literally just want to know two things: how to fix
How-
this, and what is she talking about? How to get home? Like, I know
Fair
how to
enough.
get home, so
Fair enough. All right.
and
There's
she's not
just-
going to tell me her name, so I don't give a shit.
It's just like this really like awkward silence between the two of you while she's smiling and just kind of like confidently strutting, knowing that you're this ball of anxiety, wondering what the hell's going on, frustratingly trying to get her to answer these questions, and she's just all nice and smug, just walking next to you on the way.
I mean, it makes me just want to slice her head off. So
And I mean, as you're going, you guys are still kind of in the middle of the festival. So as you're exiting her house, heading in a westerly direction back toward the rich district to go to the games, she's just pointing out things. The fact that they lifted the veil because it's now dark out, and she's pointing out the stars in the sky and starting to like talk about how the moon affected her as a child. And I mean, she's just going like deep into conversation, and you wouldn't give a fuck at this point.
I'm just like, wow, that's so interesting. I don't care.
Yeah, I gotcha. But yes, that is pretty much what happens. Is it's that filler conversation she has that you just don't give a shit about. She's just pointing out people like, ooh, they look tasty, just on the way. So, all right. So
Cool.
back to you three. And yeah, you'll get there soon enough. But I'm gonna go back to them real quick.
Mhm.
All right. So Vidar, you've turned in your ticket. Yorick, you've turned in your ticket. Merida, you've noticed this exchange. So what would the three of you like to do now? As Yorick, with your, you know what? Give me a perception check. Your passive can't do everything. I mean, it can, but I'm not gonna let it.
Said it could, so
It could.
24.
I was like, your rolls are mainly to make sure you don't get ones, because your fucking perception's stupid.
I technically did get a 1. However, on my other dice, I got a higher roll. So
It was a
there
1
you go.
and 17.
There you go. So after you guys turn your tickets in, Yorick, you're gonna clock two things. You're gonna see Merida standing off in the crowd, trying to blend in with a direct view on everything that just took place. Number two, the moment you give the ticket, you're going to hear a very familiar voice off to your left, and as you look over, it's the stage that I had mentioned before that you would have seen again because you're fucking crazy perception. It's not really a stage from like a auditorium standpoint. It's just kind of like a platform that's about 2 feet off the floor that would put you above everyone if you were on there. And as you look over, the voice that is speaking is Xander. Long blonde hair down to the shoulders, beautifully polished plate armor, and a red sash from shoulder to hip.
Do I see him?
I don't know. Do you point him out?
I feel like he would have been like, well, there's
Okay. So the moment he says, "Well, there's Xander," Vidar, you look in that direction, and it is not the Xander from this timeline.
That's what I was about to ask.
You look over there and you see that very familiar, beautiful Brotherhood plate armor and that red sash. And he's standing up in front of the crowd. "Welcome, everyone!" And his voice just kind of bellows. And at this point, Merida, you hear it too. And it's that very familiar, "this guy tried to kill me" voice.
Well, more or less, this guy needs to eat my ass kind of voice.
"Welcome to the Gladiator Games," and everyone just here we test strength and see how much we can fight with alcohol in our system. And all the dwarves in one section start to laugh as they hit their pints and their beakers together and just take drinks. You do notice that now, as like money is being exchanged, tickets were given in if they were, and then he makes this announcement, "Welcome to the games." You do see like the room starts to kind of shift and all of the different races start to come together. It's no longer like intermingled. You see like the dwarves are starting to make a pack, and now all the elves and all the humans, just everyone starts to get into their own little perspective spot. So when he says the drinking part, there's like 30 dwarves standing over there that are just and they just alcohol splashes as they start drinking. We're also here to do a little bit of gambling. I'm not gonna lie, right? Now, there is a bigger picture here. These gladiator games represent a bond. They represent a bond between kingdoms and cities and nations, and is although we might have different perspectives on how things are supposed to be run and different ways of life, these games bring us together and remind us that we are all here for one purpose, and that is to live as luscious of a life as we can. And Vidar, without even rolling, you know this Xander for sure. You know that he is radiating bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
But he just continues on with the speech about how so the Merida, this matches what you heard in the crowd, and York, this matches the ghostly conversation that you heard about the fact that if it goes wrong, it could be catastrophic. And Merida, you heard that, like the alignment between nations and kingdoms is shaky, and that's what these games are for. So he's just kind of reiterating everything you guys heard from the crowd. And he just drones on and on. He says, "Obviously, this is not the room that we are going to be fighting in. I know, disappointing. We have a main setup that Coast City doesn't know about. We're going to keep it our secret. It is much grander than this place. This is just where we exchange tickets. If you are a part, and I want to make this very clear, if you are a part of our main event, the ticket booth is right there. Please do not try to act like the ones that are part of the main event, because you're just going to be kicked out of here." And Vidar, you hear from over toward the front door, "I am the main event." And it, like, you look over and it's the red Vidar, just all infuriated and pissed. And now there's two other sashes that you see over there that are on each side of him. One has his left arm and one has his right arm, and they're pulling him out of the arena. They're pulling him through the door backwards, and he's just, "I am part of the event," and his voice just echoes through as he just like starts whining that he's supposed to be there.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, bye.
Sucks to be you.
And here to sponsor and endorse and represent, I mean, the money's got to come from somewhere, and unfortunately it's not from you dullards. You get, even though some of you are pouring your life savings into this, the money for this event does not come from you, sorry to say. But where it does come from, and and he points off to his left, and on the stage walks up a dwarf about little over 4 feet tall, big bushy beard that comes down to about chest level and about out to here. Very short, spiky black hair, not in a faux hawk or any of that, but just up. Walks up, it just these like beady black eyes, and walks up onto the stage. Welcome, everyone. I am Darthon Brightmantle. Very happy to have you here. That's all. And just kind of takes a step back behind Xander. And then he says, and our second sponsor, and let's admit, a lot more charismatic than this guy. And you start hearing just laughter in the background from the other dwarves, and then anyone else who's brave enough to laugh. And what steps on, or I should say flies onto the stage, is an absolutely gorgeous fairy. Probably about 2 feet tall, maybe. In a very, very like bright glowing aura as she appears on, reds and greens and purples, little like star sprites just kind of going off and bursting around her as she hovers in. The aura itself around her is a dull yellow, and then around within that aura is the bright yellows and the greens and the purples. And she's wearing what looks like a purple dress, but again, she's only 2 feet tall. But it's a purple dress that goes just the spaghetti strap on the shoulders and then cuts off right here, and then flows down to her ankles, and she's wearing purple shoes to match it. Has a wand in one hand, like the fairy tale type wand. On the back has a staff. I am Ruinette Faye. This isn't really my scene, so I will not be watching. But I am happy to once again make this happen. So have fun, everyone. And she again goes to the background. So now those are the two names of the thinkers that you guys had discovered from the ghostly interaction you had here a few days ago.
Mm-hmm.
Dartham and Ruinette. And Xander says, please finish your drinks, finish turning in your tickets. Don't be like that asshole that was just dragged out of here, although I'm sure we'll see him again. And yeah, within the next few minutes, we're going to move on to the actual area. And yeah, let's happy fighting. Right after he says happy fighting, Yorick, you see him scanning the area, and he stops right at Merida. And then basically within a second, maybe, he stops right at Merida and blinks. His eyes go down just slightly, and he sees you. And then off to the left, he sees Vidar. And you just see that familiar shit-eaten grin come across his face, like, things just got way more interesting. Enjoy, everyone, and just exit stage left. As Darth Mantle and Ruinette follow him off the left of the stage. And you see them step down, and there's no stairs. You know, he just steps down. Darth Mantle jumps down. Ruinette just flies down. And you see them exit off to the left into a crowd and disappear out of sight. Which would be your right. But just disappears off the stage into a crowd. But very clearly he noticed all three of you, and you heard him say that things just got way more interesting as he then thanked the crowd once more and left. What would you
Alright.
like to do?
Part of me wants to go after him, but I gotta stay on task. I don't even know what I would do if I did catch up to him.
I'm gonna, as he's watching Xander leave, Vidar's gonna nudge York and just kind of say, "Hey, do you have anything to heal me up with? Like a potion or something?"
Uh,
You
best
didn't
I-
take that much damage. But I guess
Better be safe than sorry.
that's a good point.
Here, let me. I'm gonna place a hand on his shoulder and cast Cure Wounds.
Lovely, thank you.
Do that. What you got?
For 11.
Okay.
11, thank you.
Hey,
You're the best.
I mean, you only took 16 damage, Vidar. You know, using your own shit. It's really not that bad.
Only.
It's not like he took a fireball to the chest or anything.
For half his fucking health. Okay.
So I really think we need to keep as low of a profile as possible. Because it's more than certain that Xander knows that we're here, and I don't know what could happen.
Yes. But it's going to be hard because now we have just found out that we are the main event.
Why do I have a sneaking suspicion that we're going to be fighting ourselves?
I
They didn't
Let's
have
do our
tickets.
best. Play the part. If it gets too squirrely, you know where we're running. Just learn the exits. Remember your way out. Be vigilant.
For anything.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Cool beans, Joe. I tried to edit my bonus action for the glaive, but I couldn't get the plus to go up for some
For the
reason.
polearm?
Yeah, I don't
Alright,
know
hang
why.
on. That might be because it's locked in with your strength, which is a +9. But let me check. Override to hit bonus.
Oh,
Or
I don't
to
have
hit
that. I couldn't find that option. Maybe that's just because.
That's me. I'm the
Yeah.
only one that can do that. It is now +10, sir.
Oh, thank you.
So you're good. Yeah, I'm the only one that can do that. You guys can add shit to your things, but when it comes to like overriding, you don't have that option. That's why anytime I have to add something to your sheet, I just do it for you.
Yeah, don't. It also gets so you got to override the damage as well. The damage goes up 1 as well.
For the polearm?
Yeah, so it's a +7.
Gotcha.
Um,
All right, damage bonus. Like that. Oh no, not that. Damn it. So we're gonna do that, and we're gonna do that. There you go. Got it.
Thank you.
Yep. Your polearm only does a D4.
No, that's the bonus action to hit it with the back end.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, what the fuck?
Yeah, this whole time I've just been wrecking guys with D4s.
Yeah. Hell yeah. You've taken out like, oh, your glaive is at +7 now as well.
Yeah. The glaive because it's a +1 glaive, so I get I already have it at the +7 for the
Gotcha.
damage.
I've got to change your bite now too.
Why?
Oh, no reason.
Oh, I thought it had something to do with the +1 glaive. I was like, why is that? That doesn't correlate.
Of course it does. Your glaive and your teeth are the same thing. Didn't you know that?
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead and refresh once more. I changed bite, glaive is it, and polearm master's fixed. And you have dark vision
Nice.
now.
Cool.
Which is definitely going to be new for Garrison when he comes out and it's dark out and you can see everything without trying, because this entire time you've had your human eyes still. So you're about to.
My eyes, my
That's going to be
brand.
really different. Oh.
Take a look.
My eyes.
Bye.
Okay. Sorry to interrupt with all of that. Where were we? What were you guys doing?
I think we were just mulling over shit.
Yeah,
Okay.
just making sure that everybody's on the same page about, from this point forward, keeping a low profile, just doing what we got done.
Okay.
Yeah. So we get there? I get there?
I mean, I will say for the sake of brevity, because you two are insanely quick, which Garrison, you also are going to realize as you guys are walking along and she's just pointing out all of this shit, eventually she just says, all right, let's go, and just starts running, and she's slightly faster than you.
It's because she's a bitch.
Even with this crazy speed that you're still not fully used to, she's just slightly quicker. But yes, you two do arrive. As you're going down into the tree and you're going through the tunnel and you're going through the door, and with your newfound hearing as well, if it was loud for them, it is like ear shattering to you. As you arrive, you hear a voice in the background saying, once again, thank you and welcome, and the whole crowd just and that is where you come in, is pretty much right after Xander and Dartmantle and Ruinette exit is where you two will enter.
Yeah.
And I mean, the moment you guys pass through the threshold, she kind of looks around and goes, "We're about to move," and just starts making her way into the crowd.
We've been moving the whole time. What do you mean?
Yes, yeah, because you don't know they're about to switch locations, but yes.
Right.
She just makes her way into the crowd.
I mean, I'm gonna follow her for now, tentatively. I will. I mean, at this point, I'm gonna use my second wind to heal up a little bit.
Okay. So, Yorick, actually, and I think Vidar, you guys both talked to her on the ship, right? That was you two?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. You guys went behind the counter to talk to her? Because
Not
Xander was
behind the
sitting
counter.
with
We
her.
sat down. We sat down at the table right after Xander left.
Yeah, you had to pass by that counter, though. That was on the bar.
Oh, yeah,
You had to
that's
pass by
right.
the bar.
Yeah.
And then you noticed that the whatever sound was on the other side, you couldn't hear anymore.
Yeah.
You guys sat at the table with her.
Walked through a wall of silence.
Yep.
Yeah, we were talking to her or whatever, and she laid down a picture, and it was a picture of me and Xander back in the day.
And then
Which,
Rick a note.
okay. Which now, as you looked at the Xander from your original timeline, and you think back to that moment on the ship, the picture that she gave you may have been from you two when you were younger, but the Xander in that picture matches this timeline.
Everything's so confusing.
Now that you think back to that picture, you're trying to basically like match the one you just saw on stage after all this time to the one that you met here. You think back to that picture on the ship, and it is of you and Xander as kids, but it is not that Sash Xander. It is this
That's
timeline
why I was
Xander.
so fucking confused when you said it the first time. Because I was like, me and Xander didn't know each other when we were kids. Fuck you, man.
Another
almost
lore
like-
drop. Yay.
It's almost like he laid this all out from the beginning. Like it's
know,
crazy.
my God.
Fuck you, dude.
Dots.
It's almost like I put the dots there and just waited for you guys to connect it. No
Told you.
way.
Dots are connected. They do make a pretty picture.
I mean, kind of. You know, and I'm not gonna lie. Every time you guys connect a dot, you're creating this picture, but it's just a massive butthole at the end of the day. I'm not gonna lie. If I took every dot that you guys have already discovered and drew it, it's just a big butthole.
it's actually multiple buttholes because
Yes.
we are
A
a
collection.
group of assholes playing
Yes.
D&D. So
But
he
it's-
gives us the answer every time in
There
the
you go.
intro. That's it. That's like in the intro. He's like, guys, like we're just a bunch of assholes playing D&D, and that is the
There you go.
answer. That is all the
Yes.
dots. That's it.
Yep, that's it. That's the whole story. You guys are
Oh.
actually playing D&D and you don't even know it. That's all this is. You guys actually aren't Yorick and Vidar and Garrison. You guys are actually just nerds sitting at home playing D&D. And this is all
Protection roll. You just
you guys just don't forget that a year ago you decided to gather up at one house and take a whole bunch of acid.
We've
And
been
now
tripping
you
this
just
whole
can't
time.
escape the trip. Yeah, you've just been tripping sack the whole time. That's all it is. But yes, so Garrison, you will arrive at that point. Vidar, actually Vidar and Yorick, because you guys are both kind of focusing on the same thing. So as you are once again trying to figure out what you're doing, out of the left of your purview, Yorick and Vidar, just gorgeous familiar redhead, just starts beelining it at an angle, right by you, right by the ticket booth, in the direction that Xander went. Beelining it there. And the only thing that you can, and you recognize her immediately. I don't know, you see her going. Those red leaf-like tattoos that are along the face and the long, bright red, like Jessica Rabbit hair going down to the shoulder, an equally red, bright, tight dress, and just goes. And Yorick, the thing that you recognize right off rip is her feet aren't moving. Reminds you of Garrison in a way. Because she's just floating along the floor. But she is going in a direction of someone she couldn't have seen. And right after her is Garrison. So Garrison, as you're following her and you're going and you're kind of tapping into your second wind to heal some of your wounds, to get this burn mark off your chest and off your armor, you look up and there's Yorick and Vidar. As Yorick is looking very confused, watching her walk by.
can't even say it. Walking.
Yep. Watching her glide by.
I want to catch her arm, like as she's like getting away from me. You know, I want to like grab her and like turn her to me. And
Give me a dex check, sir, because she's moving pretty fast.
I can move just as fast.
No,
She's
you
not going
can't.
full speed
How do you know?
because you said she was just gliding.
Well, give me a dex check, sir. We'll see if you can get her.
Well, that's a 7. So
All right, that's a no, sir.
all right, I'm gonna make a grapple check.
So I mean, you do go to reach. You do go to reach to try and get her, and your hand swings right by her hand, and she just continues to go. But yes, you do eventually get up to Vidar and Yorick.
Yeah, so I'll look to them and then I'll look back and then I'll just be like, I can't see her because otherwise I'm just gonna keep going after her. So
Why do
for
you
the
sound so disappointed, Garrison? Because your roll sucked.
I mean, yes. And also because like I just want fucking answers. So
It's like you all have questions and no answers.
yeah, and it's like the people who have the answers refuse to give us the answers. It's fine.
It would be too simple if they just gave us.
I mean, I would have loved to just beat it out of her, but
I mean, why don't I just give you everything, all of my notes, just give you everything I've written about where this game is going. That way you guys know prior.
I mean, couldn't you? Wouldn't that just be easier? Like, just just give us the whole plot point right now. But yeah, so I'm gonna
Plot to
be like,
this.
see Yorick and Vidar and be like, oh, hey guys.
Was a
Finally
Um,
just up.
I'm sorry, what?
Look who finally decided to show up.
Yeah. Trying
There's a
to
lot-
try to get some answers to no avail.
you have a
I
good
did
time.
get my I did get my shit back. So I don't know if you can see.
Oh yes. Yeah. Go ahead and describe what Garrison looks like now versus what you
so
looked like before.
well, I looked like how I did before with when I had this armor before, and it was robbed from me. The dark black plate mail and shiny new glaive. Not the one I was hoping for, but it's still a decent glaive, But yeah, I just got shiny new digs, old digs, but new now because I have them back, and I'm rich now because I got
What do you
my.
have to do to get them back?
I just asked her
And I'm
nicely.
just gonna be. I'm just gonna be
I just
like half grinning at him, just like what you have to do to get them back.
I just asked her nicely,
I just asked her nicely, and she gave them to me.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I'm sure she asked you nicely when she took them the first time, right?
I mean, she didn't.
I mean, she didn't ask at all, to be fair.
I know. We found you covered in blood and on death's door.
Yeah. She's a bitch. But we'll
In
work out.
conclusion.
We'll deal with that at a later date. I can't find her now, so
Oh,
here we
so
are.
yeah, Garrison. She is going into the direction of Xander. Not this timeline, Xander.
Oh, the Xander we want to kill. Oh, perfect.
Yes, he was just up on stage and he saw us.
Yeah.
And
He
also,
saw you?
you remember, he saw me, he saw Yorick, and he smiled at us and said things just got interesting, and then turned around and walked away.
And he had two
Um,
thinkers with him.
I was just about to say that, motherfucker.
Stop stealing my
And Garrison,
thunder.
you remember when we were down here the first time and we saw those ghostly images and we found two names of the thinkers?
Yep.
They're the sponsors
Oh,
for this event.
so the thinkers, the ones who promoted the ceasefire and the no violence thing, are promoting a gladiator arena. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
More questions to our questions.
Oh, also, and I'm going to pull out the paper with our names on it. This is your timeline, Garrison, or this timeline, Garrison. Remember the name? This is you.
Remember the name? Okay,
No,
that's gonna
remember
be
the
hard.
Remember the face.
The face. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. It's my face. Yep. Okay.
It's slightly different. You see, it's a large black man.
Yep.
That's a large black.
Yep. Just remember that you're a like 6'5", 400-pound black man.
Oh, am I really? I thought he was just joking.
No, he was just joking. I was just joking too. No, you're basically staring at yourself, but it's you're wearing the same kind of robe that Yorick would be wearing.
Feeling my
What can I say? I look good in a robe. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
I know. I
I
think
mean,
you look kind of icky, but anyways, he's gonna roll it back up and put it back.
Yeah,
on.
I mean, obviously from the picture, this one here is not a fighter. That's very
He's
clear.
a lover.
Is he?
He's a
I
lover.
mean, he's still a vampire.
He's a vegan.
Right.
You don't know. You haven't met him.
Well, I thought I had the memories of him doing the experiments and making it so that I was immune to sunlight.
Were those his or yours?
Well, they were mine, but also his, because they were this timeline's. So were they not this timeline's? Because
more questions to your questions.
They're
But then, like, why would you throw them in there?
You can assume that this timeline's
So
Garrison
then
is also a vampire.
whose memories were they? If they weren't my timeline, they weren't this timeline.
There's just some little goblin in the corner going.
they happen to you. They happen to this timeline's Garrison.
Plug your phone in.
That's. Listen, again, I'm not going to give you guys the entire plot. You ask the questions and you try
could you
to
just
find
give
the
us a
answer.
little bit?
No.
We're struggling here. We're struggling real hard.
I'm just eating my chocolate. Don't worry.
It's a timeline puzzle of.
I hate the multiverse. I hate it so much.
And all of a
I just
sudden,
want to go back to my simple life of killing
And all of a
goblins.
and all of a sudden, the Flash appears and he goes, "You guys have to come to another timeline. It's breaking apart."
I would immediately stab him. Like, no more.
And then the reverse Flash shows up. And he's like, "Barry, you're useless and you're gonna die because I hate you."
Guys, I hate it here.
I hate it here.
This is
Tired.
why I can't.
That's too damn bad.
But yes,
Yeah, I
Merida,
can't
you
watch
would have
Marvel.
actually noticed Xander locked eyes on you as well and the rest of your party, and then you see Garrison show up. In case you want to break away from the crowd. Yes, it's bedtime. Bye.
Okay, I guess.
No, not you. You're not allowed to go to sleep.
All right.
I'm gonna wave Merida over to us.
Unless you're gonna magically teleport me from all of these tall ass motherfuckers. People.
Mei-chan.
Yeah, she's kind of like in the crowd, like having to look over and underneath shoulders and shit just to see you
I have
guys.
to go under people's legs to get through.
Mei-chan her by the scruff of her neck.
Figure.
You do, Merida, you do at one point feel very tall within this crowd as a tiny imp actually makes its way underneath your legs to pick coins up off the floor. So, suddenly something smaller than you is pushing its way through the crowd to pick shit up off the floor.
I thought I was tiny.
Yorick. Question.
Answer.
Do you have the spell banishment?
Banishment? No.
All right.
Do you have the spell
Okay.
testicular torsion?
I could. I don't know. I might have it in my book somewhere.
No, because I was just thinking, like, wow, we could have just cast that on ourselves, and it instantly sends us back to our own plane of existence.
Oh shit.
Yeah. I was like, wow, that would have been so easy if you had that.
Yeah.
If
And
only.
then, then you guys could do a video without me just here on Skype. Like, let's talk about how we fucked the entire game. See, our DM had this really cool plot written out that we weren't sure of, and he sent us to this alternate timeline because Yorick decided to fuck with the book, and we didn't really want to do it, so we just went back to our old timeline, and then it was over because he had to go and rewrite the whole thing.
Yeah.
Shatter an entire plot point with one spell.
Listen, yeah, just.
I mean, look, I'm not. If I could lay everything out, I have a folder on my computer of plot points you guys have
Listen,
walked away from. I'm
we
not
could
even
just-
joking.
We could just go right back to season 2. You know,
I mean,
like.
I want to say there's probably a dozen right now.
Yeah.
There's probably a dozen plot points right now that were introduced slightly, and you guys just walk the other way.
We're just like, yeah, we'll fuck with that later.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, everything that you don't do, I just rewrap eventually. But because time passed, it's different now. So I mean, they're not going to go to waste.
Yeah, weren't we only
Just
supposed to be in Coast City for like 3 or 4 sessions?
You, originally came to Coast City to Garrison had questions he needed answered.
Yeah, still do.
And
actually.
and Malador needed to see his dad, and that's the only two reasons you came here for.
And then someone decided to teleport us to season 2. So,
Yeah, I couldn't have been.
No.
And now here we are in some gladiator arena.
Hey, it was
in an
it was
alternate timeline.
listen, it was Jake's fault. He's not here. Just blame him.
There we go.
Yep. All right. So let's start this gladiator fight. I want to fight Malador.
You guys will see as you're standing there that the cheering of the crowd and the drinking and the money being thrown and the exchange of tickets at the desk and everything is starting to die down. And then kind of like a large crowd trying to go through a really narrow opening, just this funnel of people just starts to go off in the same direction that you saw Xander disappear. Just like a couple of people here and there, and then all of a sudden the wave of realization starts to go through the crowd, and everyone just starts to funnel that way.
For the gambling games, is there arm wrestling?
You want to relive that moment? There's no gambling games down here. The gambling that people would be doing is gambling on the fights.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the card games and the arm wrestling and all that shit, that's out at the festival in the Poor District. That's where all that gambling is. Yes, I know you want to relive your glory day. Because this time you're a hell of a lot stronger. You just fucking break a couple of arms and move on. So do you guys follow the crowd?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm playing my part. I am playing my part.
All right. So Merida, you
go
finally
against the crowd, but
you finally rejoin the group. As I will say, Merida, you would probably wait for people to start kind of getting away from you, and then make your way over to the group and follow them out the door. That's what I'm assuming Merida would do.
Probably.
And unless you want to stay hidden in the crowd, that's up to you. But Yorick, as you guys are making your way with the crowd, keeping your eyes out, on your left, a translucent image of Zarut appears. So not solid like he normally is, but just like an image of him just kind of whisks there.
An apparition.
Yes, that. I was searching for the word. And in your ear he whispers, "This just got really interesting. I did not know they were involved." And he vanishes.
Come here, little mama. Let me whisper here. Tell you something that you might like to hear.
We'd like to talk to you about your car's extended warranty.
Yes.
So is this like gonna be like Mortal Kombat where we gotta like fight for the realm? Like
Keep what you kill.
that's the Furian Empire. That's different.
Energy.
There's a lot of people kind of shocked that we're even here.
Yes. So eventually you guys are willingly or unwillingly, you are pushed through this door. Because as you begin to move with the crowd, there is more crowd behind you. And they all just have to start packing in, because it goes into like a 1.5, 2-person doorway, depending on how big the people are. And they just start funneling in and funneling in and funneling in. And Garrison, as you make your way down this hallway, there is a part of you that is remembering a certain fight that took place in an underground maze beneath Gaudium. As the sight of this hallway and the smells and just the general vibe look very, very familiar. When you pass through the last doorway, it opens up into this giant coliseum. Seating in every direction, The bleachers, no less than 5 feet off the ground, and they just go in a stack formation all the way up. And then there's the boxes where the important or rich people would sit. But it's very, very reminiscent of your fight in the underground maze. Except there's no door on the floor.
I was just going to ask, is there a giant steel door on the floor?
But it does remind you of that moment.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, guys, I was already in a gladiator fight. Crushed it, whatever.
Crushed it.
Garrison, give me a perception check, sir.
I don't want to.
Well, do it anyway.
Fucking crushed it, dude.
Fucking crushed it, dude.
Crushed it. 22.
Okay, you crushed that too. So as you are entering and you are remembering that moment and what that felt like to essentially be forced into a coliseum, which is kind of what's happening now. You're looking up into the crowd, and then in one of the boxes up top, you see Xander with the red sash. You were not there for Darth Mental or Ruinette Faye, so you just see a small, burly, big bushy beard dwarf, small beady eyes, black irises, and then a surprisingly gorgeous looking fairy, 2 feet tall, bunch of different colors around her, yellow and green and purple. And standing next to Xander, you see Vlenrek.
Vlenrek. Why does that sound familiar?
It should.
Is that the guy? The guy at Ultima Vistus?
Mm-hmm.
The head security guy, the head guard. Yep.
Yep. He was the one that addressed you and Vernon when you beat the Cyclops.
Yeah. He was annoying.
Yeah. He was the one that rewarded you for winning by letting you go.
Yeah, he's an asshole. Yeah.
And you see him standing shoulder to shoulder with Xander.
Yep. It's just just a booth of people I want to kill. Just wow. All right.
All right. So you guys are funneled into here, and at first you are pushed into the center of the Colosseum. And I mean, this thing is like massive. Think of like Rome, the gladiator stadiums there, the actual Colosseum in Rome. It is massive in here. So around the outside, you're getting the horse-drawn carriages that are moving around, and the people that are sounding off the horns, and just people that are dressed in really fancy plate armor, going around and around with spears and flags and just getting everyone riled up. And as you're pushed into the center of it, there is then a couple of them that are going start the seating, and they are opening up doors which lead to stairwells that you guys are now funneled into. Are you trying to stay together?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna mostly focus on staying with Yorick because me and him are the ones that had the tickets.
Okay.
Yeah, I tried not.
But yeah, because if the
thing.
group were to get split up, my sole intention is like trying to stay close to Yorick.
Okay. So as you guys are trying to stay together and you're being pushed off to the left of the Colosseum to go up a stairwell to get your seating arrangements, as Yorick and Vidar, as you guys approach the stairwell, there are two guards there, very reminiscent of the Royal guards that stood at the palace with the spears and the shield that would cross them if you guys weren't allowed in. They cross them right in front of you and Vidar. You guys go to a different part. You're involved in this. Panda Girl, come through. It waves at Garrison as well. Come on through. So Yorick, you and Vidar will be directed to a different door.
I lost my fidget. I'm sad now.
Because you guys are directly involved in this. So they just kind of point to a different spot. And as you look over to that spot, it's a door with a stairway leading down rather than leading up.
Oh
Let's take the stairs. Let's take the stairs. Let's take the stairs.
And the door
Secret
that
tunnel.
the door that they point you to with the stairway leading down is directly beneath the box that Xander is standing in. But Garrison and Merida, you guys are led up the staircase and then put into one of the bleachers, which you'll be in the second row, surrounded by people shoulder to shoulder. But there's a row in front of you, and then there's several rows behind you, and you guys are in the second row. So I would say if you want, it's 5 feet up, and then you'd probably be about 8 feet off the ground at this point.
Okay.
So you're about 6 or 7 feet from the edge, and then it's a 5-foot drop down to the ground. So if you're wondering where you are in positioning. But Vidar and Yorick, do you guys head out there? Head to the other door?
I'm
Yeah,
playing my part.
Okay.
I'm just trying to blend in as best as can.
You're right.
All right. So as you guys are making your way toward this door, more and more people dressed in armor or not dressed in armor start to glob onto your group, as your group is much smaller than the original one, because there were hundreds of people coming into this Coliseum. Right now, if you were to do a quick count, there's probably 24 of you that are now making your way toward this door. So even though it's just you two originally being led off, 22 more slowly start to glom on as you guys are heading toward here. And right before you cross the threshold, another familiar voice in the crowd, "Who's still betting? Yeah!" You hear Malador just up in the audience, got separated from the group. He's not with Garrison or Merida, but he's still up there trying to get a wave going. And as he stands up and does this, the wave starts. So there's like row 2 and row 3 and row 4. Merida and Garrison, I'm sure, would be the only two that didn't stand up to do the wave, but everyone else in row 2, row 3, and row 4, as Malador stands up and starts the wave, everyone starts doing the wave. So yes, Garrison, you and Merida are in row 2. As Yorick and Vidar were starting to cross the threshold to go downstairs, Malador stands up in one of the rows, completely separated from you and Merida, and just goes, "Yeah!" It just starts the wave. Now, your entire row, probably minus you and Merida, and then row 3 and 4 behind you all get up and start doing the wave, and just like a couple hundred people just doing the wave all of a sudden.
Yep. Yeah, not doing that wave. Not participating in this.
So Vidar and Yorick, you guys make your way down the stairs, and I would say it's dark, although both of you have dark vision. But it starts to, and okay, so this part, as you guys are descending the staircase, you are both heavily reminded of the staircase in the Royal Guard Palace.
I was about to say, don't you dare.
It starts to, even with your dark vision, it begins to get darker and darker the further down you descend. But it doesn't start to twist around like that staircase did, and the walls don't start to feel like wet and cold. It's just a straight down staircase, but it just seems to go and go and go and go and go like it's a never ending staircase. And then all of a sudden, boom, you're on a just a floor. And this room reminds you a lot of the jail cells, only it's not jail cells. I mean, like the bars, and there's rooms that are separated by bars, but in all of the rooms, there's different weapons if you didn't bring one. There's pieces of armor down here. There's masks if you want to hide your face. There's all of like the just typical gladiator games things down here. There's places to sharpen your weapons. There's places, there's arrows if you're a bow person. There's chains, and oddly enough, there's sets of shackles down here. And you just kind of get funneled in with the other 22 people, and there are like plated guards down here that have the helmets, that have the Royal Guard and the Ultima Vista symbols on the shoulders, which the two of you have only seen one soldier do that. Remember, Yorick, Jerem is the only one that also had, if I can remember the name. Damn it, I can't remember my own names. The Diorum. He's the only one that had the Kingdom of Diorum, which was when they were all merged together before the war. Jerem was the only one that also had that symbol on. But you guys had only seen one soldier that shared the Royal Guard and the Ultima Vista symbols. Down here, you see a dozen of them. And they're all sitting around these tables, and they're helping people sharpen their weapons. And they're directing everyone to helmets and to weapons if they don't have them. And not everybody down here is as prepared as you guys. You guys all have your weapons and you're ready to go because you've been in battle before. Some of the other 22 didn't even come down here with arms or armor. So they're getting, everything put up just piecework, and it doesn't all match. It depends on what fits, if they're big enough, if, whatever. A couple of the participants that you're seeing are, there's one guy who's about 6'5". He's bald. He's probably got a 5-foot shoulder span. Big muscular dude, but the only thing that he's wearing is a pair of shorts that go down to his knees, and then 2 leather straps, one that goes from the left hip up here and one that goes from the right hip up here, and that's all he's wearing. And he goes and starts getting gauntlets for his wrists, and he gets a helmet, and he grabs the biggest 2-handed sword that they have and just puts it onto his back. And then you have some people that are quite a bit smaller than you, and then just your average throughout. And you go down. One of these guys lifts up his helmet. All right, he starts 24, 12 on each side of the tables. Come on, let's go. Line up. Do you guys comply and line up?
I am gonna make my way towards the masks.
Okay. So the masks are on the tables. The things that are in the cages are like the armor and the different kind of weapons and that sort of shit. All of the masks that you would do are on these tables that they're having you guys line up in front of.
Do they have a place where there's hoods?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So I will make my way towards. I'm trying to find a picture of a mask right now that he would pick up, but also he would grab a hood as well.
Okay. And Yorick?
I'm gonna line up on the left side.
Okay. And you, Vidar, which side are you going to? Are you trying to be next to him, or
I'm
well,
gonna try to
no,
be next to
actually,
him. Well,
you went off to try and find a hood. So
yeah, it's hood and mask.
you said the left side, Yorick?
Yeah.
Okay. So Vidar, you would end up being funneled onto the right side. So as you guys are standing on, you'll find your hood and your mask. But as you guys are standing on these tables, Yorick, you are standing next to someone of equal height. They look like they're mostly elvish, have all of the elvish features. There's a few things kind of mixed in there, but you can't really tell what it might be. It's mostly elvish. And then Vidar, you are actually next to a dwarf. So
Lovely.
the height difference is weird there, but they come up. So each one of these guards comes up to the table and puts a set of shackles down on the table. Says, "Put them on." And you see other people like immediately complying. So each set of people are handcuffing their wrists to each other.
That's no bueno.
And pushing the pins in. So it's left wrist to right wrist.
Okay, I am going to put the handcuff on, But can I sneakily pretend to push the pin in?
Oh no, they come around and check.
Damn.
They come around and push them in and hammer them in to make sure that they're there. So Yorick, you are left wrist to right wrist with the elf. Same thing with you, Vidar, to the dwarf. Your left and their right. And eventually, once all of that is done, you guys are then led in well, Yorick, you would be a left direction, but you guys are all headed into the same direction to another set of stairs that leads upward. And at the top of these stairs, you see that it's just a flat ceiling with a little sliver of light that comes through it, which you can only assume is the set of doors that's about to open into the Colosseum. All right. In the interim, Merida, who's about to fall asleep, and Garrison, what are you guys doing?
We're just sitting and watching.
Okay.
More or less, trying not to say that. Obviously, trying not to show that we're don't know the idiot that's saying place your bets and start in the way. Know that person. I'm trying to keep a low profile. Obviously, Xander saw me, but now that I have big dog privilege with Garrison next to me, I'm not terribly concerned.
Fair enough. Big dog privilege.
Yeah.
I
Big
like that
dog
description. I like that description. I really do. That's funny as shit. That is hilarious. Big dog privilege. Hell yeah. Merida, you will also clock all the way across on the other side of the Colosseum tier, along with your grandparents.
I'll just kind of like smack Garrison and be like, "Look up there! Look who
Oh
else!"
yeah. That's
I
weird.
mean, Garrison, otherwise, if you didn't have such good vision, to you, it would just look like a puffy spot of red
Yeah.
in that area of the Colosseum. But you're kind of like able to squint and like, okay, yeah, those are pandas. It's not just a carpet. Those are pandas.
Yeah. So not just someone's not just like waving a banner. Like,
Exactly. They're trying to dust off their towel, their chagrin.
yeah.
But yeah, no, clearly it is her family is over there.
Yep.
So and your grandparents are both wearing the fruit hats.
Apparently they'll just let anybody in here.
So much for needing a ticket.
Oh, I didn't say that they were fighting. I said they were sitting in the audience.
No, I know that.
I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like we're probably glad we didn't get a ticket. I don't know. I just have this feeling.
Oh,
Have
what
this
are you
funny
talking about?
feeling.
I'm having a great time being shackled to a dwarf.
are there vendors with like walking around with like meat and food and stuff like that?
Yeah,
Meat and
absolutely.
drink? Oh,
Yep,
perfect.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fuck those guys with the tickets.
Get your number one foam finger and your beer dispensing plastic helmet and
No, I just need beer and popcorn. I'm good.
It's like
Yeah.
stuff in this bitch.
yep, someone's coming around going butt scratcher, and it's just one of those hand things that you would use for your back. Yeah.
Let's scratcher.
Yeah.
Used to do
Someone's going around opening up their coat like, you want to buy some?
You want to touch my parts? Sorry, we've been binge watching Has Been Hotel. So
That's okay. All right. Fantastic. So are you guys doing anything in the way of Xander or anything, or are you just trying to keep a low profile at the moment?
Right now we're just
we're just
seeing
kind
what
of
happens.
observing, keeping an eye on our surroundings.
I will take a glance up to the box where they're all at and just Keep glancing over and looking at him.
Yeah, just
All right.
keep our surrounding, keep. I can't think. Just keeping an eye on our surroundings, making sure that we know what's going on, and if anything were to change.
Keeping our heads on a swivel.
Yep.
All right.
You know?
All right. And at that moment, right in front of the entrance that they went down the stairs, the ground does not open like a set of doors. It opens sideways. It just opens like a hole. So it's not a set of doors that come out. That's why you guys didn't see any doors. The ground literally just opens. And what comes up, what you two immediately recognize, is Yorick, that is hand shackled to a stranger, and Vidar also coming up, that is hand shackled to another stranger,
I
along
have a
with.
mask and hood on.
That is actually true. I'm not sure they'd recognize you. Yeah. So you do clock Yorick, but you do not clock Vidar. You have no idea which one of these is Vidar, because
I
he
want to,
decided to hood and mask up.
I want to see the person in the hood and mask and be like, oh, that looks like the child that like tried to knock on my door the other day. in the hotel.
Happy Halloween. But you guys do see all these different sets coming up, and they are all shackled at the wrists. And as they come up, another door opens on the other side, and these full plated, very well armed gladiators come up, and there's
Are they
7
shackled
of.
to each other?
Nope.
What is
And
this?
there's 7 of them that come up to the top of the stairs. You guys are all kind of spread out 2 by 2 along the left and the right of the Colosseum, and the 7 of them go to the middle of the Colosseum, also spread out. And Xander,
They're about to hunt us down for sport.
yeah,
That's-
Xander.
Hunger Games.
Why would you want a ticket for this, guys? I don't understand.
We are about to
I-
begin the games.
I am going to play my part.
Please, if you decide to throw things into the fight from the audience, try not to ruin it.
Make it
Let's
be interesting.
begin. So then immediately the 7 of them are all going to turn their backs to each other, some of them facing your side, Yorick, some of them facing your side, Vidar. And then they just start slowly approaching your group. Now there are 24 of you, so there's 2 sets of 12, 1 on each side. Yorick, you're on one side, Vidar, you're on the other side, and now these armored gladiators are starting to approach your group. And immediately you're going to notice Yorick, the elf that is shackled to you, just with the one arm free, just grabs the spear and just immediately goes into a fighting stance, pulling your wrist forward with their wrist, because they go into a fighting stance and you were just standing there. So now you're kind of being jerked to one side. Vidar, with yours, the dwarf actually grabbed a double-headed battle axe and just, let's do this. It just starts with the big, bulky and low center of gravity, just starts walking toward the group as they're walking toward you. So they are ready to go. Yorick, yours is not moving. They just went into a fighting stance. And the others within this 24, the big bald one was actually handcuffed to a really small skinny dude that immediately starts to scream and tries running away, and the big bald guy just yanks him down to the ground, starts dragging him toward the fight, and a couple of them are scattering, trying to get away. I will say within probably the first 20-30 seconds, a few of them are slaughtered. All right.
Yep.
I'm gonna look to Merida and just be like, hey, if you have any buffing spells,
Any what?
buffing spells, I don't know if you have guidance or anything like that, get it ready in case I have to jump in there and save one of them.
All right. So, Vidar, we will start with you. Like,
Okay.
are you moving in with this guy, or are you being dragged with this guy because he is
One
going?
question. One
What?
question. I do acid damage, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yes. Will that corrode metal?
Yeah. But it'll also burn you and him. But I don't think you're worried about that.
If I just like take my rapier and point it at the middle of our shackles and shoot a spell attack at it, an acid spell attack, will it corrode the metal?
Um.
I mean, couldn't you just pull the pin out?
Roll.
They
No,
hammered
they're
it in.
hammered
They hammered
in.
it in. Like they, yeah.
Like ding ding. They hammered it in. Go ahead and roll a d20 for me and add your spell modifier.
I don't even know what my fucking spell modifier is. Give me a second.
Your spell modifier should be 8 proficiency and wisdom. Or no, that,
okay.
well, okay, so that would be 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
15.
So 15's a +2. Yeah, because you don't actually have like spells. So your
Okay,
spell
cool.
modifier should be +2.
Okay.
11? Okay.
13.
Well, I mean, it's okay. So, I mean, it's a set of cuffs. So, yeah. Do you have damage for your acid?
Yeah, I gotta go into like my actual character creation sheet. Just give me a second, sorry.
I'll have to add that to you, so you don't have to do that anymore.
What is it? It's the brand of castigation?
Is it features and
No,
traits?
no. It's something that I get from my class.
Yeah, should be features.
Right of viscera.
Yeah, class features.
It's a
Wait
spell
one.
ranged attack using your weapon's attack modifier or your spell attack modifier, whichever one is higher. So it would be the same as like if I was shooting my hand crossbow.
Okay, because I see Rite of the Flame and Rite of the Frozen. I don't see the other one.
Rite of viscera I got at 7th level.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I don't see it on your class features.
Yeah, it hasn't been added to my class features, but it's on my like if I go into character creation, like to change my hit points and stuff.
So I'll have to do that for all of you. Actually, go into your creation, and if something's not there, I'll just manually add it to your sheet, so you don't have to do that anymore. But yes, if you have the damage, go ahead and add it, or go ahead and roll it.
Okay, yeah, so it's 2d6. 2d6. Okay.
Okay. Let's see what you got.
Get back to my character sheet, please. There we go.
As you delete your character. Oh shit.
Oh, goodness. 11 points of acid damage.
Okay. All right. So you point the blade down and just shoot this right down onto the shackles. It does start to melt in and basically singe, and you see smoke lift off of it, and it starts to corrode. But it does not break immediately. And actually, let me see something. It does. Okay, so the dwarf next to you is and just starts screaming as the acid also hits his wrist and starts melting into his wrist for 11 points of damage. You idiot! You just
multi-attack, I'm doing it again. Sorry, guys.
Okay.
Multi-attack. So I get to use the same, like, my +7, like if I'm shooting my crossbow.
Hold on. As a reaction. Yeah, okay, so that's a 9. He rolls a 19 on strength and just tears away from you. And the shackles go and just break.
Okay, cool.
So as you're about to go down and do it again, he just rips it away in anger. And because of the corrosion that you already put on there, it just shatters.
Lovely.
And you can see, like, as he rips it away, his wrist is just like red, and there's like, it almost looks like there's pieces of muscle that are showing because it just melted into his wrist.
Lovely. Okay, well, in that case, I'm going to. How far am I away from one of the gladiators?
At this point, about 40 feet.
40 feet. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
gonna. Now that we're broken away, I'm gonna take 10 feet forward and use my last acid spell attack to shoot at him.
Okay.
For my multi
Shoot at one of
attack.
them. All right.
Yeah.
Do it up, sir.
Oh, the 10's not gonna hit.
Oh no, the 10 is not going to hit. So you just
Okay.
fire it off, and it hits the ground and just like starts melting into the sand.
Mm-hmm. Bonus action. I'm going to. There's a thing that I can do where I can control somebody's body for a turn. Dead body for a turn. And
You'd
it
have to find a
is-
dead body.
Is there a dead body near?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, because a
where-
few of them
yeah.
that have gotten slaughtered. Yeah, what's the difference? What's the distance on it?
Curse of the Fallen Puppet. Within 30 feet of you drops 0 hit points. You can use a reaction to instill the creature with a final act of aggression. The creature
I
immediately makes one weapon attack against the target of your choice.
Okay, I will say if you use the rest of your movement, then yes, you'll have you'll be within 30 of one of the ones that have already been killed.
How close will I be to the gladiator?
Pretty much right on top of them.
Okay, then I'm not going to do that. Just Blood Curse, the Bloated Agony on the gladiator that's 30 feet away from me.
Okay. Yep, and that is the disadvantage on strength and dex.
Yeah, and if he makes more than one attack per turn, he takes a d6.
Okay.
Of necrotic.
Fantastic. All right, and then
A d8 of
Mr.
necrotic. Sorry.
Gotcha. All right, is that the end of your turn?
Yes.
Okay, your movement. All right, got it. Mr. Yorick.
Yes.
Again, the elf that is attached to you did not make any movement forward. They just went into an offensive stance with their spear, lunging their hand forward to kind of try and block, although your wrist is right along there with them. And then there are about 3 of the gladiators that are now making their way toward your group. A couple of fallen already around you. What are you doing?
So first of all, I'm gonna let the elf that's attached to me know, like, hey, I'm a spellcaster. I can take care of the range. You take care of anybody that gets close, and you do that.
Sounds good. And just starts like literally fucking, because you said that, starts lunging forward and bringing you with him, because he's not a spellcaster, he's not ranged, he's melee. So the moment you said handle the melee, I'll handle the distance, you're attached to him. He just sounds good to me. It just starts lunging forward. So you immediately get moved into melee range right along with him, as he is going to take 2 attacks against the first gladiator. No and no. Well, that was horrible. All right.
He's got a spear though, right? So he should be at a distance of 10 feet.
It's a short.
Like a Yaqua.
Yikwa.
A Yikwa. All right. So it is your go now, Yorick. You are right within fighting range, because he understood and didn't understand at the exact same time. I'll handle the ranged. Great. Oh, you're attached to me. It just rushes up into combat.
All right.
Melts his hand with some necrotic damage.
Yeah, let's just melt everybody. Why not? I can. Let's go with Ray of Frost on the one that he just tried to attack.
Fantastic. Ray of Frost. Hell yeah.
$22.
Yeah, oh hell yeah.
See it.
Are you casting it at a higher level? Ray of Frost, when you reach 5th, it's 2d8?
Yeah.
Warlocks always cast their spells at the highest level.
Yeah, that is actually true, yeah. For some reason here it gives him the option, but yeah. Cast it at the highest.
But it's always at the highest.
So it'll be 2d8 of damage.
Love it. That's gonna be 4.
4 damage. All right.
Does that also slow them by 10 feet or something?
Ray of Frost.
Ray
I
of
don't.
Frost?
Give me a second.
On hit, it takes 2d8.
The speed is reduced to 10 feet until the start of
Right.
your next turn. Reduced by 10 feet. Hell yeah, good call, Garrison. Nice.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Reduced by 10 until the start of your next turn.
All right. And then I am going to follow up with an Eldritch Blast. Where's my D10? There it is. Or no, I need to roll it.
Well, hold on. You already did Ray of Frost, which was your spell, and that's not the one you chose to do multiple times. Eldritch Blast is also a cantrip, so you can't do both in one turn.
Even though I chose that as my bonus.
If you start with your Eldritch Blast, then you
Oh.
can do all 3.
Mhm.
But you
Okay,
didn't.
never
You
mind.
started with a different thing.
Bonus action. Bonus action will be Healing Word.
Okay.
On myself.
Myself. What's your word?
My word is life.
It's evil.
Evil.
Life backwards is evil.
That's 1d4. Where's my d?
Oh, that sucks.
Lord.
That's awful.
Wait, healing word?
Healing
I thought-
word is a D4? That sucks.
No. Healing word's not a D4, is it?
Yes, it
Yeah,
is.
it is.
Is 1d.
If you're a warlock and you cast it at the highest level, it should be more.
When you cast the spell using a spell, yeah, you have to cast it at the highest, which would be 2. 2d4.
2d4. Where's my other one?
Again, good call. Second level or higher, so healing word never exceeds 2d4. No, it does. So you would be casting this, sir, at 3rd level, which is 3d4.
In which case, I'll an extra d4.
The healing increases by 1d4 for each slot level above first. So you're doing 3d4 automatic. So you have to burn a 3rd level slot.
11.
Just keep that in mind. You got to burn a 3rd level spell slot to do that.
So if that means it becomes 15 healing.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right.
When
Puts
did
me-
you take damage?
I took damage from the mud monster fight. No, we cured that.
Yeah.
Say, when did you take damage?
I don't think you've taken damage since then.
Did you forget
No.
your long rest? I'm trying to think too, to be honest. I don't think you guys have done anything that caused damage.
Unless it was me.
I
No,
think
when you confronted Ellenman, there was no battle.
Have
No,
you done have you done anything stupid that caused damage lately?
probably.
I don't remember because it was just the Ellenman thing, and what's his name stopped that right from the beginning. And then we started heading here, basically. I just think you just didn't do your long rest after the mud monster.
No, I did the long rest after the mud monster.
Yeah, I'll have to go back and review.
I'm pretty sure I've had damage since then.
Didn't you have like falling damage or something?
I mean, it's the difference between wasting a level 3 spell slot right now for nothing because you should have full health.
Yep, I'll have to go back and check on that, to be honest. Because I know you clicked the long rest after the monster.
Yeah.
I can't think of an instance where you would have taken like. There's been no combat since then. It's all been RPing basically.
Yeah, no, but you guys take damage during RPing all the time because
Stupidity.
he fails checks and Malador does dumb shit. So I don't know. You could have at some point. I'll have to go back and check. I'll go back and review past episodes, and if you haven't since the mud monster, then I'll give you back the spell slot. But for right now, just burn it.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Marked, and gonna leave it at that. That would be that'll be it.
Okay. From the box, Merida and Garrison, you guys are going to clock the fact that Xander and Vlenrek are looking directly at you.
It's rude
And
to
it
stay picture.
it also appears that they are having conversations with Ruinette specifically. Like Darthom is actually at the front of the box, and there's no like glass or anything, so he's like right at the box pulling a Malador, just like screaming into the Coliseum at this fight that's going on below him, where behind him, Xander and Vlenrek and Ruinette are all kind of conversing in a private manner. But you do notice that as they're talking, they're also like looking at you and also pointing every once in a while.
Yeah, especially when Vlenrek looks at me, I'm just I got something in my eye.
And we're back in high school. All right.
I wish they just take a picture. It lasts so much longer.
Yeah. Other than that, I'm keeping an eye on Yorick and Vidar and make sure they don't die.
All right.
Same.
Fantastic. All right. So
I'm not gonna die.
as Malador continues to get the crowd going with his waves, believe it or not, it never seems to dull away. Every time he stands up and yells to do a wave, people follow suit. And there doesn't seem to be anyone else in the crowd that wants to start the waves. Yet when he does, it's not like people going, "Oh, again." Like they get right up and they go. People are throwing coins and empty cups of that once had alcohol in it into the Coliseum. People are throwing flowers and shit into the Coliseum. So the audience is really getting into what they are seeing. You guys are noticing a conversation happening in the box with people that you know or used to know or don't really know, whatever that case might be. And none of you have seen Steven yet. Merida, the last thing that you are going to notice as you are once again eyeballing your family is what appears to be the love of your life standing over there with your family. Is a black and white, tall, fluffy, and fat panda that kind of weaseled his way through the crowd to get over to the rest of them.
I like 'em big. I like 'em chunky.
I like them chunky. I like
So
them
round
fat.
and funky.
Yes, there you
I
go.
think that's your daddy.
Girl, you huge. Yeah. Oh my god. The fuck. Of
What do you
course.
like about me? He's so big.
You so big. Girl, you huge. When that's your only game, you have nothing else to do. All right.
Huge.
But yes, we are going to end there tonight.
Fuck.
So, hell yeah, guys. Got you here. So,
Fun session. We're fighting gladiators who are unstoppable.
well, I mean, you don't know that yet, but
Yeah, wait till I get my fucking hands on them.
If you
These
get
little
well, no,
mittens.
no. I was going to say he's not shackled anymore, so he has access to both of his hands.
Yeah, that's what I was wanting to do because I didn't want to just sit there and start poking at him with my rapier. I wanted to be like ting ting.
Just
Yeah. But see, you utilized the skill that was actually useful. So, no, the shackles were
No,
not
Sully.
magical,
Yorick, necrotic that man's hand off.
right? Just melt it off so that you could be free.
I just
You
over punch him once and then hit
he
him.
has a he has a one-handed weapon anyway.
Yes,
Fuck him.
you,
He doesn't need the other one.
Vidar, you do now have a corroded shackle as kind
A
of a
new
gauntlet, a new
Okay.
bracelet that is
Okay.
corroded and melting
It's fashionable.
with every passing second because you poured acid on it. Right? Wipe it on your face. All right. Yeah, this was fun. I'm glad that I got you guys here. So I was hoping we would at least get here tonight.
Mhm.
And again, I apologize that the sessions are so short now, but we do what we can with what we have.
Yeah. No,
It
I'm okay
happened.
with it. I like the cliffhangers we've been leaving off on.
At least we're actually able to play.
Yes. that
And
is
we're
very
not going until someone's like,
That
Yeah.
matters.
What's up?
I was saying that's the part that matters is we actually we're able to play.
And none of you are passing out because we're not doing it so late
Mm.
that I then have to do a cliffhanger that the one sleeping doesn't remember.
mhm.
Oh yeah.
But,
All right, it's
but
fun
all right,
session.
guys.
So all right, guys,
Have a good
just so we
night.
get our story straight. Malador
Is
lost
dead.
an arm.
Oh,
No,
He's
we're gonna
dead.
we're gonna maim him. We're gonna maim him. So he lost an arm
mhm.
in the fight. All right.
Mhm.
Just-
Oh, I want to say just off.
Stephen
yeah.
Stephen King got canceled.
Stephen King got canceled.
A dexterity check and off
Yeah.
with his dick. Just
Off with his dick.
No,
There you go.
the Ghost Rider dude, came out and realized that his right arm has been masturbating so much that it's so impure that he just cut it off.
Yeah.
He just cuts off the arm.
whack.
Yeah, yeah.
That's funny. All right.
Now he gets some cool pipe.
Impure.
Impure.
All right.
All
I mean, it feels good, but impure.
Good night, guys. It was a fun session. Thank you, Captain. Adios.
Have a good night.
Hell yeah. Peace out, guys.
Bye.
Later.
Bye.